What's going on, everyone? It's Omar Almodovar here with Elite Recruits. In today's video, I'm sitting down with one of our former players, very recent former player. He just committed to play at the Division I level. We're going to talk a little bit about his journey, his experience in the program, and what advice he has for the next generation of guys that are going through the recruiting process. So take it away, man. Tell everyone your name, position, where you're from, what school you were at when we first connected, and where you're headed to now.
Yeah, I got you. My name's Donnie Morgan. I'm an outfielder and pitcher. I currently go to Lane Community College up here in Eugene. And I just committed to LMU.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
Very excited about it. Get to go
Well,
back to SoCal.
exactly. He's not from Eugene. He's actually from SoCal. And one of
Yeah,
the first things that we spoke about was you being very specific of wanting to get back home, and you sure
yep.
did. So let's take it back a little bit. Before we started working together, what was going on with your recruiting process at that point? And like, what did you feel like you were struggling with the most?
For me, um, I had schools reaching out and, I was playing a lot and I kind of was just waiting for things to happen. Um, which, like things were happening, but I kind of was just like, oh, like I'll play, get these stats, and it'll all kind of work itself out. But it was kind of a lot of pressure on myself. And I couldn't really focus as much on playing, which is ultimately what we all want to do is just, play the best to our abilities and not really have to worry about that off the field stuff. And yeah, I mean, I was kind of just a little stuck, honestly, in a waiting game. Ultimately, I just saw the opportunity with you guys and just like it was just kind of took off from there. It almost felt like an insurance policy in a way. Like I just like felt like I was taken care of, like and things would work out and um, you know, even if it necessarily wasn't like you know, the school that I was like, oh yeah, like I want to go to that school reaching out. Like I still had schools reaching out and there was constant contact. And it was great. And definitely would like recommend just like that, just that constant kind of communication between you and me and then also with other schools. It was great.
For sure. Yeah. And like, I think one thing that you said that's really important is that when we first connected, you were already a good player, right? You had interest, you were playing a lot, you were putting up good numbers. But in
Mm,
today's market, and the way recruiting goes today, like even that wasn't enough for you to feel
yeah.
like you had it handled on your own, especially when you're trying to put up numbers in a season. So for you, once we got started, we talked about your goals, right? You had
Mm,
very specific goals of wanting to get down to SoCal again. We put together a game plan. Okay, how can we help you achieve that? Talk a
mm.
little bit about like how important it was for you to actually have a game plan and guidance and someone behind the scenes rather than just trying to figure out on your own, because you already had the numbers and you were a good player. Like, why
Mm.
did you need a little bit more?
Yeah, the game plan was big. Um, just in the sense of knowing what to do, and just knowing how to get myself out there and promote myself, and then also have you promote me. And um, it was just understanding the recruiting game a little bit better instead of just like, hey, like I'm gonna play, I'm gonna post, like I don't know, every other month or something, or oh, when I hit that one home run out of like 20 at bats, like I instead it's just learning um learning how the game works. I mean, it's a new age, it's a new kind of game, and I definitely learned, since going to JUCO, just like it's just a different game than I expected and what I kind of thought it was like in high school. And through high school I had schools kind of talking to me and then like I just couldn't really capitalize in the way that I feel like we capitalized. And I think the game plan really just was the game changer ultimately and made the difference. And yeah, honestly, like just having the game plan again took pressure off and just gave me the opportunity to just play and, feed you the video, and then also have, if I had any questions, I could just go to you about them and ask them, and we'd talk it over, chop up a post, or reach out to a school. So yeah.
For sure. And that's the thing too, like how you said that, just reach out to me at any point. It's for me, and like from the very beginning, like it's more of a real relationship, right? It's
Yeah.
not, hey, like I'm a coach or you're, recruiter or anything like that. It's like, hey, I've been exactly where you are and I've gotten to where you want to get to. And I understand the things that are going to go throughout a season. And for you, it's like, you have a really good mindset. I can't say that for every single guy, but you have a good mindset. So for you, it's almost like taking off the pressure of recruiting and just going out there and playing your game. How
Yeah.
much of a difference did you feel like that made, just being able to play freely and not have to worry about recruiting?
Yeah, it was big. It it definitely has allowed me to play just kind of as well as I can, and also just like enjoy playing a lot more. Um, So I feel like sometimes the worry of recruiting can really just kind of ruin the day for you. Like if you're not getting that double that you want that day, or you go 0 for 4, it's just, it can be like, oh man, like I can't do this or this, and I like my average is gonna go down, so I can't have a school like see that. But it's like, all right, like I've got my guy Omar working behind the scenes for me. You know, he knows this is where I'm at, and he's got all the video that I need. Like I'm good. Let's just trust the ability and go play.
For sure. And one thing that actually reminded me of this. So this is something that in theory I always talk about with players and families where it's like, if a coach is coming to watch a game, right? And this
Yeah.
happened in your same instance, if they're coming out to see someone else, right? For
Mhm.
you to get that coach's attention, you have to have a great day, right? You have to go do
Yeah.
something crazy just to get their attention. But
Mhm.
if they're there specifically to see you, you don't have to go have this crazy day in order for them to still want you, right? In your
Yeah.
instance, when LMU came to watch you, you didn't get anything at all to hit. I remember you
Yeah.
texting
Lost
me like,
7 times.
yeah, you're texting me a little bit worried. I was like, nah, man, like that's still productive, right? They still
Yeah.
saw that you're willing to stick to your approach and you're a
Yeah.
guy that by getting on base for you, it's like you're still helping the team because you can steal and you're going to score.
Mhm.
So having that coach actually there seeing you versus just seeing somebody else and you having to stand out makes such a big difference. And
Yeah.
it happened in real time for you. So a lot of players watching this, they might wonder like what it's actually like being inside of the program with me from your own experience. How would you describe like the support, the communication, and like just your overall experience?
I mean, it's great. It really is just a personal relationship. Um, and ultimately, you took care of me. I just like honest, probably every day, every other day, I was, checking in. And then, after every game, we talk about it, uh, chop up some video. Um, but ultimately, like I said, like more than anything, it just took the pressure off. Um, and it made it a lot easier for me because a lot of the schools that I wanted to go to were, a little farther away. And just kind of a lot of the recruiting game is proximity based, and um, you know, you still like got in contact with those schools and got me talking with them, and they were on me and came up and watched, and it was great. So yeah, I mean, just being part of the program is just very pressure relieving and just ultimately a great experience.
For sure. And that's something that, like what you just said right there, you were a guy that I always talk about goals and forget recruiting, but like when you have certain goals, in order to achieve them, like you have to be specific, right? I remember vividly the example that I gave you on our first call is like, hey, if your goal is to get stronger, it's not actually a goal. But if your goal
Mhm.
is to squat 400 and bench 315, that's a little bit more
Mhm.
attainable because it's specific. You were specifically wanting to go back closer to home at a D1 program where it's not
Yeah.
only a D1, but you're going to get a chance to get a lot of opportunities. and your
Yeah.
family can see you play. There was still other schools in the mix throughout this process, waiting around a little bit. But the minute you found exactly what you wanted, I got to give you kudos because you're not a guy that wanted to wait around to see what else was
Yeah.
out there. You dove in, and that's why you're going to reap the benefits of it because you're bought into the program that's also bought into you. And that's why the right fit is really important rather than like chasing the big logo. So
Yeah.
for you, a guy across the entire country. We still yet haven't met. I'm gonna come watch you play. Were you unsure at first about like working with somebody online that you've never met, or like paying for recruiting help when you're already a good player talking to schools?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you're always a little spectacle, and you're just unsure about things. And I think you DM me, and I like DM'd you back, and then I maybe even ghosted you for like a month or something. Like it's just how it went. And um, but ultimately, I think when we hopped on a call, and you just kind of showed me, um, what you're all about, and just like your whole organization, and the sheets and the school stuff. It's just it was just like, all right, like, yeah, this guy's legit. Like this guy's gonna take care of me, and he's gonna kind of get me to where I need to go. And he's also like, I appreciate that you stayed on me. Like you're like, hey, like you're playing like here, like you need to email like this coach or these coaches, or you should reach out to these coaches like when you're playing here. And um just like that willingness to stay on me instead of just like, oh, this guy's paid me, like I don't really care what happens, like,
For
yeah, I'll
sure.
email schools for him, but nah, you like stayed on me, and we're always checking in, and that was definitely great. So I think just honestly what did it for me, that I was like, oh yeah, like I want to do this, was just seeing the organization that you had. Um just all the When we were on that call, I had these questions. You're like, dude, like, let me just show you. Like, I don't even need to tell you. Like, let me just show you. And I was like, all right. And like, sure enough, you did. And I was like, yeah. And I just go and talk to my parents. I was like, yeah, like, this dude's legit. Like, he's got all this stuff, and he answered all my questions perfectly. Like, I don't really see why not. And, you know, I think also it's helpful just knowing that you would tell me, you're like, man, I would do this for free, but like you know, this is what I want to do for a living, so it's just what you do, and like,
For sure.
it's awesome. So
Yeah, and it's rewarding to, and I appreciate you saying that because that's all honesty. Like it's rewarding for me to help guys whose shoes I was in and have the right mindset because I get on a bunch of calls. I don't offer everyone to come into my program, right? Because at the end
mhm,
of the day, I just represented you and I helped you get somewhere. But once you get there, you represent me, right? And if you
mhm,
represent me well, then that door stays open for me. But if
yeah,
you're a guy that just comes into the program because you're giving me a little bit of cash and then you go somewhere, you don't do things the right way, I lose that connection, right? And that
yeah,
connection is worth a lot more than any transaction. And for you, it's like we haven't even met yet, and I feel
yeah,
like we built a really good relationship, and we're gonna be
100%.
in contact for a long time. So I'm
Hmm.
definitely coming out to watch you play next year. By the way, I went to LA for 2 weeks and I loved it there. I'm coming to see
Yeah,
you soon.
awesome.
But if somebody is watching this right now, a player, and they're still like on the fence about working with me or like just, is it worth the gamble? Like, what would you say from your experience, like for them?
I would just ask them like where they're at, like in their position. Because ultimately I was probably in the same spot. Even if you're talking to schools, I was talking to schools, but I just felt like stuck, and I just asked them like, hey, like, are these schools reaching out to you, every day, every other day? Are they asking you actively for like video and stuff? And if it's like no, then you're behind, honestly. Like it's it's a process that goes very quickly, and I definitely don't think I would have realized that if we didn't get started. I think the whole recruiting process could get away from you really quickly, and just all of a sudden you're just kind of in a sticky spot, and maybe you end up going somewhere that wasn't exactly where you wanted to go. But for me, I got to go to the spot that I wanted to go to ultimately, and I still got a month and a half left in my season. When I was kind of told before, again with you, I was told I was going to be kind of a June, July type pickup, which would have been I would have been a disaster in that whole process. So, um, but now we're in, April, got playoff push about to happen, and I think, yeah, I couldn't have really thought about a better situation to be in at this moment in time. So, I think if someone was me, I don't know, 4 months ago, is that when we started? Right around there, maybe a little earlier.
February. So if you want to know fun facts, I was doing the math the other day. Any guesses of how long you're in the program for, from the start, from the day you signed up to when you committed?
Was it like 4 months on the dot, maybe three and a half or something?
47 days.
47 days. Yeah.
It goes by quickly.
It goes really quick. And I think, especially, for junior college guys, like those 2 years go by quickly, and especially if, I'm a two-way guy, but a lot of my recruiting has been around outfield. And those position guys, like it's hard, man. If you're a pitcher, like you can go up there and if you're throwing 94, 95, sure, you're gonna get picked up. But, you know, uh the seasons, the recruiting whole process, it goes by quickly. So just having you to help out and just slow it down a little bit just definitely helps for sure.
For sure. I mean, the way I see that, it's like you're driving in the road and there's two paths that you can take.
Mhm.
And one either gets away from you really quickly and then like you're underwater. And the other one, it's like you can maximize your opportunities really, really quickly, which is exactly what happened for you. You were
Yeah.
already talking to schools. That wasn't the issue. It was just
Mhm.
about maximizing the exposure so more knew about you and then
Yeah.
leveraging that exposure to get you in front of the schools that you're actually interested in. So dude, super excited to have had you as part of the family. Still part of the family. We're here for life. If
Yeah.
you had one last piece of advice for any player out there that might be in your shoes or and going through the process and they're struggling and they might not see like the light at the end of the tunnel, what would you tell them?
Just don't be scared. I think just through the whole process, be confident. Um, if a school says no, it's not the end of the world. I've had plenty of schools say no. Um, there's a place for you. I think just figuring out how to get there is kind of what you're there for. Um, so I think just be confident in the whole process. Be confident in yourself and your baseball abilities as well, because ultimately that's what we're all doing it for. We're playing baseball. So just be confident. Don't be scared to reach out to schools, because how else are they gonna really see you? I mean, it's it's a technology game. Everything's online now, so um, I think just don't be scared to really reach out and post and be aggressive. Just get yourself out there. It's just kind of sitting and waiting like I was doing, and I know some other guys are doing it. It just doesn't really play.
Mhm.
Um, it's just kind of gambling, and your odds aren't great. So, but yeah, I'd say just be confident in yourself on and off the field, and just get yourself out there.
The guys that say I'm being patient or I'm trusting the process, that's just not having a game plan and not going to take what you actually want and what's yours. Because at the end of the day, you deserved it and it was for you, but it's not going to come and fall on your lap. You got to
Yeah.
go wait for it. So, last thing for the LMU family, what can they expect to see out of Donnie Morgan next year? What do you have to say to them?
You're gonna see a lot of speed. I'm gonna be all over the field. I'm gonna steal a lot of bags, throw a lot of strikes, gonna hit the ball hard. Yeah, I'm gonna try to make an impact. I'm really excited. I don't know if I could have found a better coaching staff for me that's gonna develop me and turn me into the best baseball player that I could be, and I'm super excited to get working with them. And yeah, just get going. I'm already pumped up. I'm ready for summer
All
to
right.
be over, you know, like I hasn't even started and I'm ready to go. So, but yeah, no, I'm super excited. They've got a lot of young talent right now as well, and you know, one of the things they're looking for out of me is a little veteran leadership, and you know, I'm excited to do that, you know, and take on that role.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah.
Dude, you're a stud, not only as a baseball player, but off the field and as a person. And that's a testament to your family. Talked with your pops a ton, and honestly, couldn't be happier that you guys decided to take that leap of faith and join me. And super excited to continue following your journey, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, thank you too, man. It's been awesome.